We are live. We are live. Welcome to College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. If you want to support this Rebel Outpost, the home for the college football sickos, with a donation to help us keep the lights on, hit that $sign where you make your comment, and I'll get to your super chat as quick as I possibly can. Welcome everybody into the studio that sits on the corner, the very corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to become a legend with your comments and with your phone calls. We have to have a conversation. We have to have a conversation tonight. First of all, tonight is the official PATC order of finish prediction for the Big Ten Conference. For the Big Ten Conference. We've done the ACC 2 nights ago. We did the Big 12 yesterday, and now tonight is the Big Ten. I think I've got this thing absolutely nailed. I don't think there is going to be a question in anybody's mind among the Einsteins in the PATC family. I think I've got this absolutely nailed to the wall. We're also going to be going over a gentleman, Virginia Tech 247 writer, who talked about, I did an episode earlier today, episode 449. A lot of you watched it. An episode in which we went over the X account of a Doug Bauman, Virginia Tech 247 writer, in which he reports on the Virginia Tech athletic director, Whit Babcock. He's going to be showing a 54 picture slide presentation to the Board of Visitors of Virginia Tech on August 18th. And in that 54 picture slide, there's a whole lot of information. We go through most of the Mr. Doug Bauman's X account and the information he put out. We didn't go through it all. We're going to touch upon that again tonight. It's not a Virginia Tech story alone. It is the story that could be coming out of a whole lot of athletic departments in the Autonomous Four conferences. We're going to be touching upon that. We're also going to have a conversation here. We're going to have a conversation. Einsteins. You know, I do yeoman's work. I come on here and I try to support. No, I don't try. I successfully support, try to defend the honor, the dignity of the Big 12 and the ACC when it comes to this college football playoff format. But yet, every time I do a discussion on the very sensitive but important topic, I am the bad guy. I am the bad guy at the end of the night. Okay, that's fine. I also come on here. We're not doing CFP talk tonight. MBM, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. I come on here and I declare, I don't know how many times, maybe 50 times in the last 6 months, I declare that the Southeastern Conference is still the best football conference in the nation, the most powerful football conference in the nation, the most valuable football conference in the nation. I say it over and over and over and over and over again. I also say I think the gap has closed between the Big Ten and the SEC. I defend the Big Ten when I think your perceptions, Einsteins and the PATC family, think that the Big Ten is basically crap except for the top 3 football programs. But even though the gap has closed, the Southeastern Conference is the most powerful, best, valuable conference in the country. Every time I declare this, I get in trouble. You think I only get in trouble with the ACC fan base out there? Do you think I only get in trouble with the Southeastern Conference fan base out there? Do you think I only get in trouble with the Big 12 fan base out there? Come on, guys. I get in trouble with everybody. And that includes the Big 10. In fact, it's probably worse in the Big 10. So I come out here and I defend and I defend and I defend the Southeastern Conference. I got, as of right now it's not official yet. It's not official yet, but I got the Texas Longhorns winning the national championship this year. It's not quite official yet, but I got 4 SEC teams in the playoffs this year. It's not official yet, but right now I got 3 Big Tens, 3 Big Ten teams in the playoffs this year. Okay? All right? But yet, even with all my support to the Southeastern Conference, even though the fat guy from Minnesota, way up north, the fat guy from Minnesota with this horrific accent, horrible singing voice, I'm sitting here declaring the SEC is still the best football conference in the country, but you're not acting like it. 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 The coaches are not acting like it. They don't want more competition. Paul Finebaum. Come on. Paul Finebaum, he's feeling a little pressure, isn't he, going into the season? You can see it in his face. You can hear it in his voice. He made some declaration. We are going to talk about it tonight. You don't be saying what Paul Finebaum is saying just to shock people. You say it because you're feeling a little pressure. A little pressure from, as he describes it, the little tenors. We are all used to Paul Finebaum burying the Big 12. We are all used to Paul Finebaum giving the ACC elbows. We are used to Paul Finebaum not believing that the Big Ten is even close to being their equal. We are all used to Paul Finebaum trying to elevate the SEC no matter what, and that includes believing that the Florida State Seminoles did not deserve to be in the playoffs as a 13-0 team ACC championship. But Paul Finebaum, man, the way he is talking, this is different. This is different. And I don't even, and it may not be just about the Big Ten. It may be something to do with the Texas Tech Red Raiders, the BYU Cougars, Big 12 teams investing all they can and a little bit more. Maybe it's something to do with the Clemson Tigers, because they are going to have a big reemergence this year. Maybe it has to do with the Notre Dame Fighting Irish that beat the Georgia Bulldogs last year, and Notre Dame is absolutely loaded. Maybe this world of the NIL and the transfer portal, maybe, just maybe, when you've got 70 teams paying money up over the table, it's evening things out. I don't know. I don't know. I keep defending the Southeastern Conference. The evil Greg Pflugar, the Darth Vader, the Big Ten Darth Vader. I keep saying the SEC is the best, but they're not acting like it. Are they acting like it? I don't think they are. I think they're feeling a whole lot of pressure, and we are going to talk about that tonight. Before we go into our show, leading off with the Big Ten order of finish prediction by yours truly, Greg the Gold. I want to talk about yesterday's live show just a little bit here at the beginning of the show. Thank you all for joining us yesterday on the live show. I do appreciate it. After the live show, I got plenty of DMs, plenty of comments. I want to make sure that everybody understands what that information truly was that we put out yesterday. There was no way that I was going to hold that back. Sorry. There are people out there that think, Greg, I don't know why you're doing this. I don't know why you're polluting the air with this stuff. This show is not for everybody. It may not be for anybody, but this is the show. This is how we do it. This is how I broke the USC story. This is how I nailed the Oregon-Washington story. This is how we nailed the Colorado, the poaching of the Pac-12 story. This is how I broke the Big Ten acquiring Notre Dame's men's hockey. This is how we broke the PJ Fleck story. I poke and prod, and I use every card that is in the 52-card deck to try to get the doors open to me. Sometimes I receive information that turns out not to be true. A lot of times I receive information that is only the perception of the source. Sometimes I receive information that is just one dot of information and I'm looking to connect the other dot. The reason why I opened up this college football YouTube national show is because I'm showing you how I do it. And I share with you as much as I possibly can. And we love, enjoy the passion, everything in college football. This is why this show exists. I get it. Most other college football YouTube channels do a great job analyzing spreadsheets, data. They have guests on, they have panels on. That's not this show. But there are a lot of great ones out there. They do all that, and they do a fantastic job. Yesterday, we put out information, and I tried to make it clear last night, and I think 95% of you got it. But there still is this faction out there that don't quite understand what I'm trying to say. So, I'm going to make it clear one more time. I do not know the importance of what was said in that document. I don't know. I don't know the importance of it. I don't know if it's really important, not important at all, or somewhere in between. But does that mean when I get the okay that I don't tell you guys this? The PATC family is mature enough. They have watched how we've worked for 3 bleeping years and 8 years before that on X. It is our 3rd year anniversary tomorrow, Sunday, August 10th. I do not know in this email, in the original email, where the subject line said, no recent talks with this particular university and I'm not going to say the name. And then in the body of the email, it says, not along the lines of recent talks with possible expansion. And then it names the 4 universities in order: Virginia, North Carolina, Notre Dame, Clemson. That's what it said. Last night I said maybe 15 times. I happen to believe, my opinion, based upon the chatter and the people that I talk to, I believe the Big Ten candidate list is bigger than 4. I know there are some universities that were not on that email that has been very aggressive in talking with the Big Ten and the SEC. There is no way that I can imagine, this is just my opinion, that there's a Big Ten candidate list that does not include Miami and Florida State. So I don't know the significance of it. Other than we fully believe, we absolutely 100% believe that is absolutely legit. And it is 4 universities at the Big Ten Conference have had talks. That word talks shows up about 3 different times with 4 universities. And I would hazard to guess, based upon the date of the original email, I do not know when the recent talks happened, but it is a guess. Just speculation on my part. Given the information that I've been given, I think maybe these recent talks probably were in the month of July. I could be wrong. Maybe they were in June. So I just wanted to clear that up. I did not say that this school is off the list, that school has been canceled. I did not say any of that. Go rewatch the show last night. And we are going to continue to poke and prod on this thread because we know this thread's legit. But that might not be all that important either. They might have had recent talks with 12 universities, but they just did not list them all on this original email. Okay, let's do a roll call. Let's do the roll call, and then the official PATC, Big Ten order of finish prediction, and baby, I'm going to nail it all. Bruce Harris, MBM, thanks for coming on in. MBM, appreciate it. Bruce Harris is in the house. Karan Shakar, Sun Devil, Ager, thank you for coming on in. Appreciate it. I already predicted the Arizona State Sun Devils to win the Big 12, to come in first to win the Big 12 championship. We did that. Whoops, sorry about that. We did that live show, Big 12 order finish prediction a couple of nights ago. Arizona State, Baylor in the Big 12 championship game. Thanks for coming on in. Sun Devil Ager. Jose's in the house. Bo Weevil is here. Secret Agent. John Dry. Skaven, yes. The other guy gags. Old Dad 3692. Jeff Morgan. Big Gun Shop. Doug Steinhauser. Dave B. Doug. Edward. The Auburn Tiger. Let's do this thing. Tasbo, thanks for coming on in. I appreciate it. Tumasta is in the house. Hummus Hero. Humble Bumble Duck. Christopher Mercado is in the house. Daniel Gorby. David Kreitzer. Ashchente Wilson is in the house. Has been. Christopher Hooter. Why are these names in the chat room showing up a little bit differently than before? Why am I getting at Bob Swanger 7623 when I used to get Bob Swanger? Does anybody know the answer to that? Did I do something wrong? What is going on with YouTube? Son of Sarek is in the house. Rich Austin is here. It's YouTube. YouTube. Okay. Nothing I did wrong. Nothing I did wrong. Okay, because it's usually YouTube does this. YouTube is showing usernames instead of names. They do this every couple months. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. I just figured it was something I did wrong because I am a moron. I don't know what I'm doing. Charisse Armistead is in the house. Smile Time is here. Buck Wargo. BB. 100%. Greg has Penn State at number 1. Well, maybe I threw everybody surprise tonight. Maybe I changed my mind. Check it out is here. Zero Wiz is here. Jay Chapman. Appreciate you all coming on in. AMAC. Nick Kelso. Tim Bruchmilla. Weiss, the Texas Tech Red Raider is in the house. Okay, guys, let's get to it. You know how this works. This is the official PATC Big Ten Order of Finish prediction. I guarantee you, I am going to shine this year. Absolutely. Why do I know that? Why do I know that I'm going to shine this year on these predictions? Well, it is no longer.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away.
Bye-bye.
But I've known you too long.
Bye-bye. Greg, the cooler. Greg, the cold. You're fading away, baby. Bye-bye. You're gone in 2025. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no, you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you, but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side, maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today.
The torture is gone. There is a new sheriff in town that picks against the spread. The order of finish predictions. You saw what I did with the Big 12. It was magic. You saw what I did with the ACC. It was a moment of brilliance. Tonight, the Big 10. So easy. So easy. I let it slip. Don't forget what that first slide showed you. Purdue number 18. I don't really have to say anything more. Really? Do I have to say anything more? Everybody's got Purdue, new head coach. Look, guys, it's going to be, they're not going to win a Big Ten game. Other than that, I don't know what, they had some good players last year and they all went in the portal. Finebaum went to Purdue. I mean, they lost guys, man. Max Clear, the tight end, went to the Buckeyes. They're not going to win a Big Ten. They're not going to win a Big Ten game. And then you look at Maryland. Well, Malik Washington, I've seen some tape on Justin Martin. They're battling for the quarterback one, QB1. Malik Washington, I think, has got a little bit of a hamstring or some sort of injury. Bobby Hansen, Iowa at 12, Minnesota higher than both. Iowa, Nebraska, strongly disagree. Greg, whatever you were on when you made this list, I want some. Okay. I can understand the Iowa, but what about when's the last time Nebraska has finished ahead of Minnesota? Good Lord. Every single prediction out there in college football YouTube country has Nebraska ahead of Minnesota once again. And it doesn't happen. And it ain't going to happen this year. Northwestern, number 16. UCLA, number 15. Nico, I'm leaving on a jet plane. I do not look, I think what we're going to find out, that late night game, UCLA versus Utah Utes. I think we're going to find that Utah beats up on UCLA. I think UCLA might have the worst set of running backs. UCLA ain't going to score many points. I think Utah's going to run them out of the gym. And then everyone's going to be saying, okay, it ain't quite UCLA's time. Wisconsin is dropping like a rock, ladies and gentlemen. And it doesn't help they have a brutal schedule. Wisconsin, let's be honest, they're dropping like a rock. The Gophers are going to retain the axe. The only question about Wisconsin is, will they play good enough to keep Luke Fickell's job, or is it going to be a total collapse? Rutgers and Iowa, I do-see-do these two teams. Back and forth. Look, Iowa's got some dudes. But the Ferentz era is almost over. It's over after this year. Iowa has been a slip in and a slide in, and now this year it's going to become quite apparent. I've got a lot of respect for Gronowski, the quarterback. But their running back ain't nothing like they had last year. The Lions are not what they were 10 years ago. The defense is still going to be very good with Phil Parker. But I'm not a believer in that offense, even with the new coordinator and the new quarterback who has done a wonderful job with the Jackrabbits. I am not a believer in Iowa to the point where I've got Michigan State finishing ahead of Iowa. I've got Michigan State with their coach, second-year coach, and Joe Rossi. I think the brain trust is good in East Lansing. I think they need a little bit more time. Aiden Childs is going to be a better quarterback than who they got at Iowa, who they got at Rutgers, who they got at Wisconsin. I think he's going to be better than Nico, Northwestern, Maryland, and Purdue. I think Michigan State at 11, I could not go any lower. I could have went a little higher. I could have went a little higher. But I got the Spartans ahead of the Hawkeyes. Ahead of the Badgers. Number 10, Nebraska. Okay, guys, it's time, Cornhuskers. It's time. You want me to put you up high? It's time. You've won more than 3 conference games one time in the last, 9 years. And everybody wants me to put Nebraska ahead of Minnesota, who they've lost to 5 straight times. You want me to put Nebraska at 6, 7, 5, 4? Show it to me. Show it to me. I love Dylan Raiola. I do not like, now they've got their RB2, the freshman, I can't remember his name. He's showing some juice. He may have something, but I'm not an Emmett Johnson believer. Their wide receivers got more juice than last year, no question about it. They're losing. They lost Tony White. He's at Florida State. If you don't think that's gonna, I think Nebraska Cornhuskers defense is gonna take a step backwards. I think their offense is gonna take a step forward. But they were 6-6 last year. I think they're gonna be about the same this year. I had them at 8-4 over the last 4 months. But now I got them at about 7-5, 6-6. Cornhuskers are going to have to prove it to me. They're just going to have to prove it to me. But I do like their quarterback. I think their quarterback gives them a chance to get to a very good bowl game. But ladies and gentlemen, I mean, come on. I'm not going to completely fall for the trap. I'm not going to do it. I'm Greg the Gold. I'm not Greg the Cooler. I had Nebraska going 8-4 last year. They went 6-6. So I right before I went down in that hole, I turned the wheel and I'm not going there. Nebraska at number 10 is the highest that I have gone. I could have gone. Now for the top 9 in the Big Ten. Washington, they got the quarterback, I think, that might lead them to a top a half finish in Washington and USC. Washington and USC are the 2 teams, along with Duke. Remember Duke in the ACC. I said I could be most wrong about Duke. I might have had them too low at number 6. They may be a top 4, top 3 finish in the ACC. USC and Washington are the teams, and Texas Tech is my Big 12 team, in which I may have them a little too low. USC and Washington are the Big 10 teams. Both of them have the ability to finish 3rd, 4th, 5th in the Big 10. USC could finish 3rd. Washington could finish 3rd, 4th, 5th. They just need a little bit of things to go right for them. Jonah Coleman and Demond Williams. Washington's got an exciting backfield. Denzel Boston, he is going to be electrifying. USC's got great... We talked about it. We just talked about it. We just had the USC spotlight a couple weeks ago. Their wide receivers are gonna be fantastic. USC is going to score points. Isaiah Gentry, the linebacker, he's healthy. He's put on weight. USC has put on weight. USC has the defensive coordinator. It's his 2nd year, Lynn Anton, and he's going to have the Trojans defense improving a little bit more. This is USC and Washington could be 3, 4, and 5. I don't think Minnesota and Michigan can be 3, 4, or 5. I think the ceiling is lower on Michigan and Minnesota than it is on USC and Washington. Now, a lot of you are saying, Minnesota, Greg, come on. You're being a homer, Greg. You're giving us Golden Gopher propaganda, Greg. You are a moron, Greg. Well, last year I had Minnesota finishing 8th, and you all gave me a bad time. Every one of you, Einsteins, gave me a bad time, and that is where Minnesota finished up. They lost to 1 point against Penn State. 1 point. They beat Illinois. They beat USC. I mean, they had a pretty damn good year last year. This year, they've got dudes. Minnesota Golden Gophers got dudes. Nobody denies that. Darius Taylor, A.J. Turner, Corey Purge, Kenny Brown, the great safeties. They've got dudes. Anthony Smith is going to be one of the best. He's probably going to be a first or second round draft pick defensive tackle. Minnesota has dudes. What Minnesota doesn't have is the following. They do not have the depth I believe they need in the secondary when it comes to the cornerback positions. It's extremely unproven. It's extremely dangerous. They are excellent at the safety position, but the cornerback position, the depth is scary. Minnesota lacks depth in the defensive line. And they've already had injuries on the defensive line in August camp. It is extremely concerning. So Minnesota doesn't have the ceiling as USC, Washington, or Indiana, or Illinois, or Oregon, or Ohio State. They don't even have the ceiling that matches Nebraska. I just think that Minnesota, PJ Fleck, is going to find a way to finish in the top half of the conference once again. Now, Michigan, ceiling is pretty high, but their floor is pretty low. There's something about Michigan that I think they're missing, and it's beyond Bryce Underwood being a true freshman quarterback. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be dangerous. Underwood's going to make some huge plays. I wish I could make these predictions after the Michigan-Oklahoma game, but I can't. I don't know about Michigan's. I don't know about their skill talent. I don't know about their wide receiver room. I've got questions about Michigan, not their defense, but their offense. I don't know if they have enough experience, proven production to help the true freshman Bryce Underwood. That's my problem. The dynamics don't work for me at Michigan, but I still have them at 6 with an opportunity to be 3, 4, or 5 and get into the playoffs. No question about it. But I can't put them there. I cannot put Michigan ahead of Indiana. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Indiana is more talented this year than they were last year. I truly believe that. I think they're going to have a very good team this year. I mean, they've got dudes on every line, at every level on defense. Their offense is going to score a lot of points. Fernando Mendoza, I mean, the Big Ten Network, the crew that does the Big Ten Network that goes to all these August camps, they were just in Bloomington, and they came out of there and they said, all of them said Indiana is a fantastic team, and Fernando Mendoza is going to light it up. Indiana is going to be very good. Illinois is going to be very good. It's just the way it is. I don't know who is going to come out at number 4. It could be Oregon. It could be Illinois, Indiana, Michigan at number 3. But Illinois is the real deal. They're going to be awfully good. They're bringing back a lot of guys. They lost their running back to Georgia. That's going to hurt. But their defensive line, their offensive line, their quarterback, a lot of things remain intact. They're going to bring a lot of guys back on defense to fight in Illini number 4. Oregon's got a higher floor than Illinois and Indiana, but they got a lower floor than Illinois and Indiana. And now I might have just upset a whole lot of Ducks. I got the Ducks in the playoffs. But they got a lower floor than Illinois and Indiana. They got a higher ceiling, lower floor. I've watched Luke Altmaier. I've watched him under pressure. I have watched Fernando Mendoza run for his life at California. These guys have produced. Dante Moore, we're going to find out together. Oregon's got a lot of juice, man. They've got a lot of skill. They've got the 5-star young wide receiver. I mean, my goodness. They got Mekhi Hughes, who I'm absolutely in love with. Their great running back, the transfer from Tulane. So don't get it twisted, man. Do not get it twisted. We talked about Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end. DeCorian Moore probably runs a little faster than myself. Oregon is going to be fantastic, but they're going to have competition with Illinois, Indiana, and possibly Michigan. And USC and Washington are the wild cards in the Big Ten. Number 2, the Buckeyes. The defending, reigning, undisputed not Big Ten champions, excuse me. Undisputed national champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Got them at number 2. We're going to learn a lot about the Buckeyes when they play the Longhorns. Number 1, number 2, at least when it comes to the coaches poll. That game is going to be fantastic. We are going to be doing a watch party on that game Saturday, August 30th. Peoples and Donaldson, is that a good enough running back duo to win the Big Ten? Julian Sayin, who really hasn't gone against live bullets in a Big Ten game, is that good enough? Jeremiah Smith, number 1 on the PATC Heisman watch list going into week 0. He's going to help. They got a lot of great receivers that are going to help. Ohio State is absolutely loaded. It's not just about Jeremiah Smith. It's Carnell Tate. We saw what Mr. Graham, number 5, the wide receiver, did in the April spring game. The Buckeyes are loaded, but they did lose their defensive coordinator to Penn State. Penn State Nittany Lions. Defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. Have a whole lot of respect across the country and here at PATC. James Franklin has the defensive coordinator, the offensive coordinator, the running backs, the transfer receivers that should get them over the top. A quarterback who's got skills, if he just can mature, and he's got the defense. The Penn State Nittany Lions should win, they will win, the Big Ten championship in 2025. Penn State will go into the college football playoffs as either the number 1, the number 2, or the number 3 seed in the playoffs. Can Penn State get to the national championship game? That is where I might have to put the brakes on the Nittany Lions. I got more confidence in Texas and Clemson as of right now tonight on August 9th. But Penn State winning the Big Ten, they got to get it done. They will get it done. They will get it done. Penn State Nittany Lions will be your Big Ten champions. Book it. Indianapolis. All right, so put down your comments. Let me know where I got it wrong with my Big Ten predictions. John Teal. If Minnesota wins the Big Ten, you have to do the full dance scene from Deadpool versus Wolverine with Bye 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 playing in the background. Thank you for the $5 holler, John Teal. I very much appreciate it starting us off tonight. Thank you for the generous super chat. I do not know what Deadpool is. I do not know what Deadpool versus Wolverine is. I do not know what Bye 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 is. I do not know that full dance scene. So I cannot commit to something that I do not know that it even exists. John Till, I'll take a look at it. I don't think we're going to have to worry about it. I don't think, even with the most improper, radical Golden Gopher propaganda, I don't think I can even get it to that extreme. But I do think my beloved Golden Gophers are going to have a very good year. They've got depth issues, and of course, they've got a redshirt freshman quarterback that none of you have seen play, Drake Lindsey. However, did you watch Max Brosmere today? Did you watch Max Brosmere, the Minnesota Vikings' fourth quarterback that came into the game against the Houston Texans? Max Brosmere was brilliant, the Golden Gopher quarterback of last year. Max Brosmere has taken Drake Lindsey under his wing. Last year, Drake Lindsey followed Brosmere all over the place, and Brosmere has said that Drake Lindsey is going to be a better quarterback than himself. Tanner Morgan, who led the Minnesota Golden Gophers to the 10th ranked in the AP poll at the end of the season for 2019. They won a January 1st game. Tanner Morgan said that Drake Lindsey is the most talented quarterback in Gopher history. That's what Tanner Morgan said. So there is a lot of internal hype about Drake Lindsey. The Arkansas High School Player of the Year in 2023, come from an athletic family. The Lindsey, his grandfather, played for the Vikings. We're all going to have to find out and watch together. The first Drake Lindsey game is against the Buffalo Bulls, August 28th. We're doing that game, and the Cornhusker Bearcats game, August 28th, doubleheader on Thursday night. So you got to join us for that. You've got to join us for that. Okay, guys, it's the first preseason game. Greg, you don't know the X-Men? I don't know that. I don't pay attention to any of that stuff. Bye, Bye, Bye was a hit. Don't know anything about that either. Did Elvis Presley sing it? Did Johnny Cash sing it? Did the Beatles sing it? If they didn't, I don't know what you're talking about. Humble Bumble Duck, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. It's a beautiful list. Morris Simmons is in the house. Das Tacos, can't wait for Florida State to the Big Ten. Bye, Bye, Bye. Is that Bye, 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 Birdie? I could possibly sing that song. We will take Texas behind the Big Ten, the woodshed, Big Ten style. All right. We'll see. I haven't made my official prediction, but right now I got the Longhorns winning it all because I drive the Arch Manning hype train. Now look, I have defended the SEC. I call it like it is. I still think they are the best, valuable football conference in the country. The gap has closed, but I still have the Southeastern Conference as number one. But Paul Finebaum is showing a little stress. He's showing a little stress. Paul Finebaum on the Big Ten fans. They act like they invented football. I'm so sick and tired of being harassed by Big Ten fans on our show. I think Paul Finebaum is protesting too much. First of all, the Big Ten basically did invent football. Princeton played Rutgers back in the day, 1869? You take a look at what was going on in the Midwest, but that doesn't even matter. That's not even the point of what Paul Finebaum was saying. He's saying, basically what he's saying is the Big Ten fans have gotten a little bit too, confident. They've gotten a little bit too boisterous. They've gotten a little bit too, maybe they're acting too much like SEC fans. They're bothering Paul Finebaum. I'm so sick and tired of being harassed. SEC television, radio, Paul Finebaum made it clear that he's sick and tired of Big Ten football fans during a recent appearance on the Netflix Sports Club podcast. Finebaum, the ESPN personality and host of SEC Network's The Paul Finebaum Show told Network Sports Club host Danny Klepninger that he's so sick and tired of being harassed by Big Ten fans, and added the Big Ten fans act like they invented football. Klepninger, I don't know how to pronounce that name, I apologize, asked Finebaum, who's going to win the national championship? And is it going to be an SEC team? It is. Finebaum began. And by the way, if it's not, I'm leaving the country because I'm so sick and tired of being harassed by Big Ten fans on our show. The Big Ten has literally done nothing. Finebaum continued. Boy, he is feeling the pressure. Finebaum is feeling the pressure. The Big Ten has literally done nothing. They've won 2 national championships. Michigan won 2 years ago. They won 1.5 national championships, I think. And before that, in 70 years. And they act like they invented football. Alabama has won about 15 national championships in my lifetime. Now I realize that's not a good comparison to a realistic lifespan, but I believe Texas is going to win. I didn't mean to avoid your question. It's going to end all this. And on January 20th, I'll be the happiest man in America because I won't have to listen to the Big Teners, or as my colleagues call them, the Little Teners. The Little Teners. Paul Finebaum feeling pressure from the Little Teners. Now, I get it. Paul Finebaum doesn't speak for the SEC fan base, right? He doesn't speak for Edward the Auburn Tiger or everybody else, SEC fan base in the PATC family. Paul Finebaum doesn't speak for them. However, feeling a little bit of pressure, I think, Paul Finebaum. He says, basically he's saying the SEC better win this national championship. I'm going to have to leave the country if they don't. The SEC coaches, they don't want to go to 9 conference games. They don't want to have to do playing games. Doesn't sound like they want to do a crossover schedule with the Big Ten. It's the Big Ten that is being evil. The Big Ten that is being antagonizing. It's the Big Ten fan base that is driving Paul Finebaum up the wall. It's Paul Finebaum. I think back to this. I think the reality hit a little bit at that Paul Finebaum has realized that the game has changed, that the gap has closed. When Alabama did not get to the playoffs last year, I think that sent an unbelievable message within the SEC to the point where they could not take it in. They had to punch back. Greg Sankey, Paul Finebaum, ESPN, all of them. Most people in my PATC family that root for an SEC school, they let me have it in the chat room. They let me have it with direct messages. They could not understand how an Alabama or an Ole Miss or South Carolina, one of those teams, should have made it to the playoffs last year. To the point where the SEC mocked Indiana's performance against Notre Dame, and not even half of the first quarter was over yet, because I was doing a watch party. My chat room was lit up. But then Indiana lost to Notre Dame less than Georgia did, and Tennessee got absolutely handled by the Buckeyes, and, well, all the talking points was wiped away. Ladies and gentlemen, the world has changed. I think the Southeastern Conference is the best football conference in the nation. But going forward, they're not going to dominate every year. They did not dominate last year. This year, I happen to think that the Big Ten is going to slide just a little bit backwards. Not much, but a little bit. I don't think they're going to quite get that 4th team in the playoffs. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, they're going to be right there, but I don't think they're going to quite get in. I don't think they're going to get ahead of Miami. I don't think they're going to get ahead of Texas and Georgia. And I'm not going to name the other 2 teams. But there are going to be 4 in the SEC. LSU is the other one. I'm not going to name the 4th one. But the SEC is not going to come out and completely dominate every single year. Those days are over, in my opinion. I think we're going to have years in which a Big 12 team and an ACC team are going to jump up, surprise, and contend for a national championship. I think it's going to be this year with Clemson. I think they're going to be right there until the next realignment wave, and then we'll find out what happens. I think the world has changed with NIL, with rev share, and people like Paul Finebaum haven't quite accepted it yet. So they're calling the Big Ten the little tenors. They bury the Big 12 every chance they get. ESPN analytics, bury the Big 12 every chance they get. I don't think they've accepted the new world. Paul Finebaum, I think, is under pressure. Now, before we get to your phone calls, that Buckeye Longhorn game, it's a big game. I think the Buckeyes make the playoffs even if they lose that game. I think the Longhorns make the playoffs even if they lose that game. Same thing with Clemson and LSU. I think both those teams make the playoffs even if they lose that game. Miami, Notre Dame, I believe that as well. But the Texas-Ohio State game has a little bit more added pressure to the Southeastern Conference side of the ledger. The Buckeyes don't need to win that game more than the Longhorns. But the SEC needs to win that game more than the Big Ten. If the Texas Longhorns go to the shoe and they lose, or worse yet, they get blown their doors off, then the guys like Paul Finebaum and the rest of them at ESPN, they are going to lose their bleep. The aftermath show that we're going to be doing after that game could be very historic. Paul Finebaum is setting himself up. He might have to leave the country. I don't think so. I've got Texas winning it. But the Penn State Nittany Lions, the Buckeyes, there are other few contenders out there, so we shall see. Anyways, let's go to your phone calls. Let's go to your phone for the phone lines. Talk about anything in college football that your heart desires. 763-260-1333, 763-260-1333. And again, if you missed it, whoops, that's not what I wanted. The Big Ten order of finish prediction. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is.
Call from
John Grove.
John Grove, I appreciate the call. The floor is yours. Let it rip, sir.
Flug, I got to be honest here. This is probably the first time ever where I'm the first caller. This feels like the stars are truly aligned in some sort of way. But how are you doing, my friend?
Beautiful. I'm doing great. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm going to keep this short, and it's not really anything related to tonight's topic. But I'd imagine you guys are going to do several additional live shows leading up to week 0, if I'm correct.
I've been doing a live show pretty much every day, so yes.
Well, I'll tell you what. All right, you talk about the Big Ten and the SEC trying to expand and go global. How about I take things a step further? We're going to have the PATC community get its first ever international call.
Really?
And it'll be from me. I'm going to be in Dublin.
Wow!
And if the opportunity presents itself, I'll try and call in.
Beautiful. I hope you do, sir. That would be outstanding. I would love it.
I will test the cheeseburgers to see if it's anything better in Ireland.
When are you leaving? Are you leaving like a week before the game or a couple of days before the game? Or?
I'm leaving tomorrow, Flug. I mean, we're only 2 weeks out. I'll be spending 13 days there, so I'm leaving tomorrow. So.
Oh, outstanding!
Yeah,
outstanding.
I mean, we'll have plenty of time then to make this historical achievement. Has someone else internationally called in?
Yes, we had someone call in from a military base a couple of years ago, early on the show. I don't remember one since, though.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, this will be the first one in Ireland.
Beautiful. I would love it,
So
sir.
take that.
Outstanding.
Yeah, take that for what it's worth. Yeah, K-State will destroy Iowa State. And Abu Sama can't traumatize me anymore as a K-State fan. Anyways, have a great night, Flug.
Got it, man. Appreciate it. John Grove calling from Dublin, Ireland here. Hopefully before game time, we're going to be doing a lot of live shows. So he's going to have a lot of opportunities. I hope safe travels for John Grove and his loved ones. Kansas State, Iowa State. It's not, look, I'm going to, I don't even have that game. For whatever reason, I do not have that game saved. But I'm leaning heavily towards the Wildcats in that game. The 3.5 point spread, I will lay the points. But that's not official yet. Not official. I don't want you Einsteins stealing my picks because it's Greg the Gold. It is Greg the Gold. Phone lines are open. 763-260-1333. 763-260-1333. And again, this was the Big Ten order of finish prediction for the 2025 season. Purdue 18, Maryland 17. We went over this earlier in the live show. If you missed it, you can go back and watch it. Northwestern 16, UCLA 15, the Badgers 14, Rutgers 13, Iowa 12, the Spartans 11, Nebraska 10. Washington and USC are the wild cards in the Big Ten this season. Both of them could finish in the third, fourth, and fifth spots in the conference. They've got a higher ceiling than Minnesota and Michigan, then even a higher ceiling than Indiana and Illinois. Minnesota, number 7. The Gophers have got dudes, but man, they got depth issues. They've got a lower floor than a lot of these teams that they're batched with. Michigan, Bryce Underwood, and I do not like the offensive skill position that has surrounded this true freshman. Michigan and Oklahoma are going to be one of the most interesting games in the first week of the season. Indiana is more talented than they were last year. Illinois is loaded. Oregon's going to be outstanding. If Dante Moore is ready, the Buckeyes and the Penn State Nittany Lions. That was our Big Ten order finish. It's official. It's official. We are not changing anything. Not changing anything. John Teal, I appreciate it.
Call from
Moth Prof.
Moth Prof, can you hold on for just a moment, please?
No problem.
I appreciate it so very much. John Teal, after Ohio State and Texas, Paul Finebaum will look like a blue hair and nose ring wearing liberal arts student. I don't know what that means. Ohio State will look like Sydney Sweeney in blue jeans. Thank you, John Teal, for the $5 holler. I appreciate it. Greg Disney Adventures, thank you for the $2 holler. Thank you, Greg's Disney Adventure. I appreciate it, guys. John Teal, thank you for all your support you've given us over the last couple of years. I do much appreciate it. Greg Disney Adventures, I appreciate it. Go ahead. The floor is yours, sir.
Thanks, Greg. I appreciate it. I was going to bring up the topic of what you were discussing in the past show with you were talking about how you got that email or that document.
Yep.
Talking about the Big Ten's targeting. Well, in that one email, there was 4 schools that were listed.
They've had recent talks with those four
Recent
schools.
talks, right. Now, I believe, was it Ryan that said that the Big Ten needs to be proactive? So is there any inclination whether that was the Big Ten being reactive or proactive before the SEC does anything or after? Do you know what that is?
I don't think we can make any assumptions on in regards to the document.
Right.
I know. I don't think we can. I don't think we can make that assumption that they're being aggressive or they're going to be. I think they're being aggressive in regards to having all these type of discussions. Everyone's talking with everybody. So again, I don't know the impact of this information because the Big Ten might have had recent talks with 12 schools and only 4 of them was listed, like I mentioned over and over and over again.
Right.
But what we do know is that there has been recent discussions with the 4 teams that were listed, but there could be more. I do not know.
And you don't know whether that assessment is based upon a little scoop or big scoop by the SEC?
In regards to the document?
Right, yes.
A document's not really there is limit to what this document is really telling us. Okay. But I thought we should put it out there anyways because we know it's legit. So
gotcha.
I cannot. I don't know. I can't go any. I don't. Literally, we don't know much. I mean, do I think? I think the SEC is going to do the big scoop, and I've gone over the reasons why. I could be dead ass wrong, but I think they're going to do the big scoop. If they don't, holy smokes, it's going to change the equation of a lot of things. Go ahead.
All right. Well, then the next dominoes that fall, if the SEC takes a small scoop or big scoop, and the Big Ten reacts by taking a small scoop or big scoop, does that change the what the Big 12 does?
Sure.
Because I would think that the Big 12 would take 4 ACC schools no matter what. They're going to take the best 4 remaining after the SEC and Big Ten go.
Quite possibly, or 2 or 3 of them, and there may be another one.
Like the UConn?
Yeah, that's a possibility. Yeah, depending on what, how big the scoops are before them.
Right.
Yeah.
Or is it possible? Do you think that the ACC could rebuild before the Big 12 strikes? Or is it?
I think they can because they could possibly be getting a whole bunch of exit money, right?
Okay.
And they could sustain themselves, and they might not get poached by the Big 12. But we're going to have to come to that. We'll get to that part of the road once we get through those are the domino pieces that are way down the road, and it's hard to. But yeah,
right.
I think that's a possibility.
The phone call I gave you about 2 or 3 weeks ago was about if the dominoes fell the right way. I said there could be like 20, like 4 conferences with about 18 to 20 schools each if the dominoes fell the right way.
Mm-hmm.
But
it could.
But I can't wait for football. I'm glad for you taking my call and bless your time. And your analysis, Greg, is spot on. I truly believe you are Greg the Gold this year. Okay.
Beautiful. There it is. There it is. We've got one believer. One believer.
Or I'm drinking a lot of Gopher Kool-Aid, but we won't talk about that.
Yes. Keep drinking that Kool-Aid. Keep drinking that Kool-Aid. It's all good, my brother.
Thank you for your time.
You got it.
Bye-bye.
We got a believer, ladies and gentlemen. Outstanding. To get back to To get back to Ryan Thomas' comment of last night, because it did get a lot of response. People said, yeah, he's right. Some people said, nah. Here's the deal. I get the frustration of many. Some people in Big Ten country, Florida State fan base, this fan base, that fan base. And it doesn't seem like, why wouldn't the Big Ten strike first and all that? They're not being proactive. They're gonna let the SEC get the corner of the market on the most valuable brands left. The SEC is gonna leave the Big Ten in the dust. I keep going back to this example. All that might be true, but the Big Ten might not have an option. And this is where I get the Big Ten fans all upset with me. The Big Ten doesn't always get what they want, and there's so many examples of that in the past. They wanted North Carolina and Virginia. They couldn't get them. And back in 2010. They wanted Texas and Oklahoma. They called the SEC. They did not call the Big Ten. There's a lot of stuff that the Big Ten has not got what they've wanted. Now, I'm going to give you my opinion on this. This is opinion. Speculation. Okay? You got a school like Clemson out there. By the way, Clemson was one of the 4 schools that were in the body of this document. In my prediction, I got Clemson going to the SEC, right? You all know that. I just, again, this is my opinion, okay? I'm just putting it out there. I think it would be very difficult if the Big Ten really wanted Clemson, and maybe they do, because they fit. They fit somehow in their blend. Maybe they can get them on board with the Notre Dame or whatever. Even if the Big Ten is really wants Clemson, I think the SEC has advantages. I think the SEC has advantages over the Big Ten when it comes to targeting Clemson. I think Clemson, if I was Clemson, I'd be sitting there going, okay, so if we join the Big Ten for the next 20 years, let's just take the next 20 years, we are going to be in this recruiting ground, and South Carolina is going to be saying we're SEC, and look at the Clemson, they're part of the Big Ten, and we're going to lose a little bit of we're going to slide a little bit on the recruiting. Oh, we can possibly get more guys out in California, in the Midwest. Maybe that makes up for it. But then again, culturally, it's just, I'm not saying you should go necessarily where your best recruiting is going to be. But again, there is this, it's the same reason why Texas really wanted to go to the SEC. They did not want the state of Texas. They didn't want Texas A&M to make any more inroads. So Texas wanted to go where Texas A&M was, so that Texas Longhorns could use their huge brand power to once again overshadow their little brother. And I think that's what Clemson wants to do. I think they want to go to the SEC. They want to go where South Carolina is so they can flex their advantage, their brand advantage. I think the SEC has home field advantage on Clemson, on Florida State, on North Carolina. So, but I understand the logic of people. Why don't the Big Ten be more progressive? Get out there, go get them, sign them up. Don't wait. I don't know if the Big Ten can get these schools signed up. And the schools that they could get signed up, I think they're willing to wait to see how the dominoes fall. If the SEC does a little scoop, the big scoop. But overall, I think the Southeastern Conference has the advantage in this stuff. Not to mention that ESPN is already a media partner for these ACC schools. So I don't know if the Big Ten has these options that people believe they have. I'm not ripping on the Big Ten. They can offer a lot. if you want to become a national school, if the travel don't bother you, if you want to become, and if you don't have interest from the Southeastern Conference, you're probably going to say yes to a Big Ten invitation like that. But so I don't think, I get why people are hammering on the Big Ten, looking like they're sitting back and everything, but I don't know how much the Big Ten can act first, especially when their number one target is Notre Dame. And Notre Dame ain't going to act until I think that Southeastern Conference acts. Anyways, that's my little spiel. I disagree, Greg, and that's you've got that right here at Peek Around the Corner. You've got that right. Jacksonville Jaguars to the Big Ten. How is Travis Hunter doing tonight? How is Travis Hunter doing tonight? I'm guessing the game is over.
Call from
John.
John is on the line. The floor is yours.
Hey, Greg. Hey, a while back, you and I discussed Petiti and Sankey playing golf and sitting in the golf cart together and talking about this thing when it started rolling about 2 years ago. And I really got a feeling that maybe this was when the deal was set as far as when the picks would be made. I mean, they were out there on the golf course. You know how it is, just shooting the breeze.
Yeah.
And there may be a reason that Petiti can't make a move yet. Because maybe Sankey said, we'll take the first 4, and then we'll stay out of your way for the next 2 or 3 or whatever you want to get. What do you think about that?
Well, a lot of people think that. I happen not to believe in that. I don't think this has been settled. I don't think it's done. I don't think it's being coordinated. I think there is. I think the Big Ten has been always trying to figure out what the SEC is going to do next. I think the Southeastern Conference is trying to figure out what the Big Ten really wants to do. I think they're both checking each other out when it comes to private equity situations. I think there's a lot of subterfuge. I think there's a lot of cloak and dagger. I don't think it's coordinated. I mean, shoot, these guys couldn't even coordinate on the college football playoffs in their advisory group meetings. So, no, I don't think it's happening. Just my opinion.
You got to remember, Sankey was for the 4-4-2 until he wasn't.
Yep. Until his coaches said no.
Right. So, these guys are still working for other people.
Yes, they are. That's true.
So, yeah, we really don't know what the main people are doing. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to run this by you, too. I really feel like the Big Ten is going to take a couple of teams out west to help UCLA and USC. Because UCLA was already kind of squawking this last year about the travel. Mm-hmm. And they're going to have to bring somebody in. And I believe that eventually we're looking at 24 teams for the SEC and the Big Ten. Because you've got to have at least 2 out there to help them out. What do you think about that?
I think that is a strong possibility, but I don't think it's going to be part of this next wave. I don't think that is going to play a part in this. I don't think they're going to go to 24 anytime soon.
No, I agree. I think 21 is. I feel like 21 is this round, and then the last 3 will come after that. Yeah,
that could be. Yep. And if that happens, I can see them going out west. They might not have to go all the way out west. You know, maybe it's programs that are willing to play that Western divisional schedule, not only in football, but in baseball and basketball. They might cut it up more in divisional play. You know, you might get a Texas school to agree that they can play out west, or a Kansas school or Kansas or something like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be, somebody way out there, but we shall see.
I got one more thing.
Yep.
Wasn't there an agreement that if 6 teams from the ACC left, that the exit fee would be cut in half if you left all your other sports in the ACC?
Yep.
So instead of 165 or 150, whatever it's going to be next year, we're basically looking at 75 million per team.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that would count if it was like 4 SEC teams and two Big Ten teams. It doesn't matter where they're going as long as 6 leave, right?
Well, that was 6 ACC. That's part of the ACC settlement. That has nothing to do with the Southeastern Conference or the Big Ten. That's part of the ACC. 6 or more ACC schools leave for a single sport conference. So let's say it's football. Then their exit fee drops down to about 75 million, 80 million from the get-go. But they would not be joining the Big Ten or the SEC because they are more than one sport conference. They'd be joining something completely different.
Okay, I misunderstood that because I thought maybe if they just took football by itself and added it to those conferences, they could leave the rest of their sports. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, Greg, I appreciate your time, and I'll keep listening.
You got it. Appreciate it. Call again, sir.
Okay, buddy. Bye-bye.
Beautiful. Great phone calls. If you're new to the channel or if you haven't done it yet, please hit the subscribe button to become a part of the PATC family. When you subscribe, please turn on your notifications because we can come on live at any time. In the morning, afternoon, late at night, we cover everything in college football. We cover the breaking news. We cover the games. We do watch parties. We do more watch parties than any other YouTube college football channel out there, and it's not even close. So become part of the PATC, Peek Around the Corner family here, and I would appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, open up those notifications, smash the like button. It helps us with the algorithms of YouTube so very much. I want to thank the people who have donated to our program, John Teal and Greg Disney Adventures, to help us keep the lights on. I do appreciate it. I want to thank everybody for joining us on a Saturday night is all right for PATC. We did our Big Ten predictions, I should say. Purdue, Maryland, Northwestern, UCLA, Wisconsin, Rutgers, Iowa, Michigan State, and Nebraska. Then Washington, USC, Minnesota, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State. Mark it down, book it. It is the year of Greg the Gold. Go ahead and drink the maroon and gold Kool-Aid. It'll make you feel better. It will make you feel better. I want to appreciate all of you coming on in, and we are going to be planning on doing a live show Sunday. Tomorrow, Sunday, August 10th, is our 3rd year anniversary of opening up this college football YouTube channel. We opened it up on August 10th on 2022, 10 days before the Los Angeles Times article came out on us on the USC story. We knew it was coming out in 10 days. We wanted to start the YouTube channel. I did not know what the hell I was doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, but I appreciate all of you joining us. Growing national college football YouTube channel. I do appreciate it. So join us tomorrow, 3rd year anniversary of the YouTube channel. I want to thank all of your support. This is not possible without every single one of you. It just isn't possible without you Einsteins out there putting up with me, the fat guy from Minnesota. So until next time, from all of us at College Football's Peek Around the Corner, to all of you, please you all take great care of each other. And as always, God, family, Golden Gophers.